Perfect Turd Podcast, Lamar, episode 74, Army of the Dead.
Yes.
We talked a little bit before we watched the movie of whether or not this is technically a B movie. You can make a case for it. It's an expensive B movie.
Because let's go down the elements of this movie. The main star is a wrestler.
Yeah.
You have zombies, and you have the plot.
Questionable CGI at times.
At times, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about white zombie tigers because I support it. It was okay, but I feel like this movie, you can make this on like a little B movie like budget. Because, well, we'll go down what the story is. So I like the setup because it shows like the stupidity of the human race. And I feel like that's kind of like an underlying theme of like the zombie thing is like, you know, there's a little light at the tunnel, but we're kind of stupid as a human race. We do dumb things, and it's not intentional; it's mistakes, but it's catastrophic.
Yep.
So, out in the desert of Nevada, young married couple, you know, a young woman is performing fellatio on her new man. On the opposite side is the army, and they're transporting something. You don't know what it is. They crash, which, I mean, I guess there's worse ways to go. I mean, you just married a woman and she's performing fellatio on the road. Of course, the package is a zombie, I guess.
Yep.
Zombie gets out, and then the zombie bites a couple of people and heads to Vegas. Then one of our favorite people, Hiroyuki Sanada, he's like, yeah, I got reimbursed for this casino money, but the money is still there. Hey, Bautista, go get it, and I'll give you 50 million of it. And that's the plot.
Yep. Yeah. They got to go into the zombie-infested Vegas to pull off a heist, basically. Yes. So the plot is kind of crazy, and I like it. I just found that maybe the film... So let's talk about the zombies themselves. Zack Snyder... So when he did the Dawn of the Dead remake...
Yes.
One of the things that people really liked about that movie was the zombies can move quickly.
Yes.
And that was like kind of, oh, okay, this is something cool. It's a little different. Kind of try to outdo himself, I guess. Try to add a new element to the zombie world. Everyone's been talking about this. The zombies in this movie are kind of like intelligent in a way.
They have their own like
hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Yes.
They've got a king and a queen, and you know, he feels emotion when his queen, something happens to her, and that didn't work for me.
Really?
I did not like it.
Interesting, because here's my thing. I felt like that should have been more of the movie other than the emotional stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get into that.
Because it's a heist movie, like you said. Everybody has their own little talents. You have to get like some outside guys. Bautista, he's the big heavy guy. He's the leader. Then you have a woman that he worked with. And then you have one of my favorite actors from one of my favorite shows, Power, Omari Hardwick. You have to get the safecracker. You have to get the helicopter person. You have to get extra people for backup. So that should have been more so the focus other than Bautista trying to show emotion to his daughter.
His daughter. That was dumb. Yeah, I didn't like that. But the thing about the zombie thing that I didn't like, it doesn't really present any new challenge for the heroes to overcome.
You don't think so?
I didn't think so.
I liked, like, you know, some of the more hand-to-hand combat thing. Yeah. I liked, of course, the fast stuff. So I liked that part. I feel like we should have seen more of that. But to me, it wasn't enough because we're seeing this really drab freaking story with Bautista and his daughter, which you really don't care about.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make the zombies more intelligent, like, give us a little peek of more a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some other ranking zombies or something. That's me. So I liked it.
Okay.
I like that part.
I didn't find like that it was enough of like, because when he did, going back to the Dawn of the Dead, that the zombies were moving fast.
Yeah.
At the time, it seemed like, okay, this shit, you know, you took it up a level. Like, these fuckers move fast. Oh, okay, cool. With this, it was like, okay, they're smarter. They got a little culture, but it's not a thing where the characters, the heroes, are like, we got to overcome this. So it's not like an additional challenge.
So you feel like it's just the same. You got to shoot him in the head, which the big bad guy, See, and that's another thing which I would have liked, like the big bad, the big leader, he has a helmet because
he puts on a helmet,
they get it. Like, if you shoot me in the head, what if they had more soldiers and those soldiers were like the hierarchies of the groups? That would have been cool.
Yeah.
That is something I would have liked, like more focus on that. Like, they have their own culture and stuff like that. That's what I would have liked a little
more
bit
stuff
more.
like that. Or if I was going to go that route like he did, I would have made it more like, okay, they're intelligent, like they can freaking use weapons. Or they can like drive a car, or so. I would go crazy with it.
So you wanted them to go full out,
but it's like, okay, they're more intelligent, but in the end, they're still just zombie. It's not an additional challenge. You still just have to shoot them in the head. It's not like they're doing anything different where the heroes have to overcome that.
Yeah, and you could have probably put some comedy into that too.
Yeah,
being smart.
So we talked about the kind of boring part of it, the thing with the daughter. Like, Zack Snyder is really good at action, and he's great at the action and the like kind of absurd stuff that's kind of funny and outrageous. But then he feels the need to interject like these kind of emotional elements, and it falls flat. You know,
I completely agree, and it kind of doesn't make sense. So it's the typical zombie thing. Bautista has to kill his wife.
Yeah.
His daughter's mother, and it's sad. And they have this conversation where she's like, yeah, I understand why you had to do it, but you never comforted me. And I was thinking, why the fuck not? It's not like it's not like you left or anything like that. Like, I on both sides, I'm just like, why was that such a big deal?
Yeah. It was just like an added element in there that really didn't belong in this movie.
And it made it too long.
It was too long.
2.5 hours. And it's like, if you cut that, focus on, we got to get through these kind of newer zombies.
Yeah.
And then everybody has their part. And then there's like, there's a couple of obstacles in the way. Because like, they have to get into the vault.
Yeah.
And the vault is like pressure-centered floors. And they have to do it, and they have to like test it out with zombies. I like that part.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Funny.
That
was really good. And that's what you need more of.
Yeah. Yeah, because after the movie, I was thinking about it. I was like, it's a zombie movie interjected with a heist film. So how the hell did this movie get so long?
Yes.
It's like, that's a simple, thing. It's like, it should have just been that stuff and then the action. That's all this really was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be with the other stuff. So
it should have been like the movie that does this the best, because this is what they do, is Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Like, Mission Impossible is like, okay, you throw little wrenches in the plan.
Right.
Because I like where they set up the scene where it's like, yeah, we're just shooting zombies. But then when you actually do it, things come into play. People have other motives.
Yeah.
And so that makes it more interesting. And then when you interject this whole thing with like him and his daughter, you're like, that's not really the drama.
Every time that it was like the movie came to a screeching halt for that. It was like,
exactly.
It was just almost like, okay, now we got to just wait for this shit to get over, and now I'm going to move on.
Right. You are absolutely right. It's kind of like, I'm going to do my Bautista acting. Dad, why were you? But Dad, I love
It's pretty good.
Thank you. I practiced it. But yeah, it's like, that's not why I'm watching this movie.
Yeah.
It's a heist movie with zombies in Las Vegas.
That's it. That's all we needed, honestly.
Yeah.
So what do we rate it?
I give it, I would have, if they would have did it like we're talking about, I would have given it like a 4. I'm saying like a 3.5. Okay. Cut out all that other emotion. I don't care. It's the heist, zombies, Las Vegas. 3.5. Yeah. And I thought it was going to be better, but they just, I don't know, this emotional crap.
Yeah.
So 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's a 3. It's like it was enjoyable enough. It was just like, yeah, that element of it was just boring as hell. It was just like, I don't want to see that part. I like the crazy stuff. He did it better with Dawn of the Dead. So, yeah.
In that movie, you had where they were just, you didn't break down like everybody's like little character thing. You had that little montage with Get Down with the Sickness. I forget the singer's name where they remixed it. Yeah. And you just showed little clips of them living through this shit.
Right.
But this movie, they were just like, yeah, dad and daughter.
Yeah. He felt the need to add that in there. It really wasn't necessary. But, it was okay.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, I guess that wraps this one up then.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 74, Army of the Dead. Take us out, Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
That's translated as deuces.
Oh, okay.